two of you do not need to get admission. If both of you get admission, that is also fine. But it's not required that two of you get admission. Once one person gets admission, the second person can get dependent visa. Oh, how are you doing today? Welcome to this session. And today we'll be talking about family relocation. Family relocation, all right? And with you here is Dr. Linda Iheme. I'm an educational consultant with Vantage Migration. One of our areas of expertise is on family relocation. We've had so many people go through our program, Relocate Abroad with their family. And when we talk about family, we're talking about, like, family simply means if a spouse or kid or children is involved, meaning you're not relocating alone, right? A lot of people will relocate alone. Maybe you're a single person and you're relocating alone. But once you are married, whether you are now divorced, whether you now have one kid, you're a single parent, blah, 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 blah. Irrespective of what the situation is, you are under family relocation because you're either going to be going with your spouse or you're going to be going with your child, or you're not going with any of them. You know, when we talk about family relocation, people can easily think that if they decide to keep their families in their home country and they travel alone, that's not family relocation. That's family relocation because sooner or later you will still be coming for them. In fact, if you have all your information, you may even decide not to keep them, right? So again, it's about the right information, knowing what to do. So talking about family relocation, let me just go over it. But most importantly, I want to take your questions. So if you are here, you're watching this video, you are married and you're looking at relocating, this is for you. This video is for you. So please come with your questions. If you even have questions, I'll be happy to dive into them right away. But let me give you a holistic picture of, maybe not holistic picture, but summary of what people have been doing, some of the people we've worked with. So for example, we've had people relocate to Canada with I've seen people who relocated with their kids. Even so, there's a lady that came with 3 children, right? We had another lady that came with 2 children. These were like maybe teenagers, maybe 9 and 13, something like that age range. I've seen people relocate with pregnancy. I've seen some of our clients, one relocated, she was pregnant, and then she gave birth in Canada. But it's not only Canada as well. I know a lady who had HND, got Masters Direct, relocated with her husband and her son, right? Then we've had other people relocate with their child. You know, the sex of the child doesn't matter. The number of children does not matter. Even if you have 5 children, you can relocate with them if you know exactly what to do, right? Then I've also seen a lady that had a child but divorced from the husband, or they never really got married. They never got married. So she was able to relocate. In her case, she had to keep her child with her parents, and she was able to relocate. She was hoping that she would come back for the child because, you know, she was going to go to the UK, so she wanted to have time to work and all of that since she was going alone. I have seen, I've seen a man and the wife, like young couples that just got married, right? And they were able, like husband and wife, they were able to relocate. Funny enough, the lady started the process while they were still fiancé and fiancé, and after their wedding they relocated. We have the story where the lady was saying that she cut her wedding budget in order to relocate. So, and that is UK, right? But that's not all. I've had people, like a lady relocated with 2 kids and her husband to the US on full scholarship. She was going for PhD. Another person relocated with the wife and children, and they also went to US. So I've seen a woman who had she has children, she has a husband, but she went to Germany, but she didn't relocate with her children or her husband. She was hoping that they would join her later. So this thing varies whether you're a single parent or husband and wife without kids, or husband and wife with children, or some people the husband will go first, some people the wife will go first, sometimes they will go with the children, sometimes they will not. People just do what works for them. I want you to know that there's no pressure to do it how other people are doing it. You can do what works for you, but you need to get the right information, obviously, because, like, for example, we had a family that just came to Canada, a man, the wife, and three daughters, right? 3 daughters, so a family of 5. And I remember in the man's testimonial, he was saying how some of his friends had said that you can't go with your family, you have to go first and then come back to pick your children. That was the only way you were going to relocate with your family. And because he came across Vantage Migration, he got to understand that that was not true. He could go with his family. And he went with his family, and they are all in Canada right now. So, irrespective of the country you are going to, irrespective of your family size, irrespective of your decision about who you are going to go with at this point in time, it is doable with the right information. So, I would like to get into the questions now, because I strongly believe that instead of like blah, 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 talk, if I'm answering real people's questions, that will throw more light on what we're talking about when it comes to family relocation via the study abroad route. Family relocation via the study abroad route. So let me look at the question that's coming. So this question says, can you explain the steps involved in spousal sponsorship? What is that is husband requesting for wife to come to Canada, I believe. Okay, so spousal sponsorship, I'm not going to tell you into details because it is not the study abroad route. You know, I had mentioned that we talk about family relocation via the study abroad route. So if you already have your husband there, and what they call spousal sponsorship means you got married to somebody in Canada and that person is requesting for you to join. That is usually when they talk about spousal sponsorship, that's what it means. And you're not talking about study abroad route at all, right? So maybe if you can rephrase your question, I will understand how that relates to study abroad route and be able to answer it. For example, if you have a husband or a wife who is in Canada already and they want their husband to come, it is not really called spousal sponsorship. So when it comes to spousal sponsorship, we're not talking about the study abroad process, and I'm not really interested in going into that because it will only confuse us more. Let's take questions that has to do with family relocation via the study abroad route, okay? So we have this, the person said, how do I go about including my common law partner who is already in Canada in my visa application? Your common law partner who is already in Canada in your visa application. Okay, so if they ask you, do you have a common law partner? You're going to say yes. If they say the location of the common law partner, you're going to say in Canada. That's the way to include it. But again, please, if you're asking question, you give me context, because then that helps me to understand what to advise you. For example, this person said how to include common law partner when applying for visa application or in visa application. What visa are you applying for? What are you going there to go and do? Right? Are you going there to study? Are you applying for study visa? So this will give more insight, because when you say visa application, they are like maybe 10 to 20 visas you can apply for. How will I know which one you are doing and what the situations are? Right? So give me more context. That will help me to give you answers that will really help. Okay, this next question is, can one get a full scholarship for masters in Canada for next year? 100% yes. Why not? You can, I mean, that's all we're about. Well, you can get full scholarship for masters in Canada, and it depends on so many things. The kind of scholarship you're going to apply for will depend on your grade, will depend on, you know, your course, what you've been doing before now. Can you get full funding? Yes. So even if your grade is not so good and you get a partial funding, you can use study loan to complete it. So can you get full funding? Yes. Must it be full scholarship? No. Can you get full scholarship? Yes. But I want to tell you that yes depends on so many things. But even if you don't get full scholarship, you will still be able to travel because you'll be able to get loan to cover whatever is short, right? Okay, let's look at the next question that people have. Please drop your questions, okay? I'll be very happy to answer them. Give me more context so that I know how to answer it. So this person, let me read the question and see if somebody understands it. Maybe they can explain it to me. Please, how can someone come in without student abroad? How can someone come in without student abroad? I don't understand the question. So rephrase and write it well. And if you understood the question, please rewrite it for me so that I will understand it. Let's go to the next question. How do one sponsor the mother who is a nurse outside Canada to come stay and work in Canada? Okay, you want to sponsor your mom. That would, of course, let me explain to you. The question you asked, I'm not going to answer, but I'll modify it for you. If you are somebody and you are currently in Canada, even if you are in Canada as a student, your mom can visit. We have a lot of people that maybe, let's say they finish their study, it's graduation time, their mom can come, right, for that graduation. And usually these days, they give mom, like, they give your parents visa, and the visa, they can stay for like 6 months, go in, come out, stay, and they can even stay longer. Now, if the person asking this question have kids, that means the mom is a grandmother, right? They have what Canada just started this thing they call, not that they just started, let me put it that way, but they have something called super visa for grandmoms, right? Like grandparents, super visa. So I think they give them like 10 years visa, and they can come and go, and they can stay longer. Before, they used to only allow them to stay for 6 months, but now they allow them to stay longer. Right? So the point is that depending on your situation, whether you're single or married and have kids, will depend whether your mom is just a mom or your mom is a grandmother. I don't know. So you can give me more information. Is your mom a mom or your mom is a grandmother? Because that will determine the kind of visa she will qualify for. And if she's here and she's already a nurse, during the period she's here, she can write nursing exams and licensing exam. When she passed them, she'll be able to work. She'll be able to convert her visa to maybe work visa or something. So, depending on whether your mom is just a mom or a grandparent, that may determine the visa they qualify for. And if they are either way, they're able to come and visit you, right? And the person can use the opportunity to write exams. That's the way I see you doing it. Not because one thing you have to understand is that talk is different from real life, right? You know, somebody can just be like, how do I sponsor my mom? Because there is the word called sponsorship, there is a word called mom, and you just join both of them together. But one thing you have to know is that, is there a visa called sponsorship for mom, for work? Do you understand? Like, is there a visa like that? If you have idea, you can give me more information. But so if your mom is coming as your mom, probably coming for visitation, it's going to be a visiting visa, right? It's going to be a visiting visa. So the question is, what do you do when the person have visiting visa? You can write exams. You can do any of, you can write exams, especially you pass the exam. Then from visiting visa, you can convert it to work visa. So, like, there is that holistic word or sentence that is so sweet. But when you break it down, you start asking yourself, where does your mom fall into? If your mom is a grandparent, then they are applying for maybe super visa for grandparents and all that. Again, if you give me more information, maybe I can tell you something more. Let's look at the next question that someone has here. So somebody said, I want my son to go to Canada to study. Is NYSC certificate compulsory? For those that don't know, because for my page, we have people from different countries. NYSC is National Service Certificate. Let's put it down. NYSC certificate is National Service Certificate, where you serve your country for 1 year and you get the certificate. Now, one thing I want to tell you is that when you are in that country that you are supposed to serve, the NYSC certificate is needed. The moment you cross to the next country, they don't know, like, NYSC is national service. So it has nothing, it's not international service, it's national. So once you get outside of your country, it no longer matters. For Nigerians, it is called NYSC. For Ghanaians, it's called like national service. It's called national service. If you do national service in your country, you can also let me know. But these are the two countries I know that they do national service. The certificate is not required the moment you leave your country. So whether you are going to Canada, whether you are going to US, whether you are going to wherever you are going to, national service is not required from you for admission processes abroad. Okay? So, yes, if you want your son to go to Canada to study, that's fine. They will not be requiring NYSC certificates. Okay? Now, let's look at the next question. What is required for applying for the study route and also going with spouse and kids? Okay, amazing question. Good. So, what is required for if you are relocating via the study route is that you are one of the spouses. I'm assuming that you said going with spouse and kids. So, let's assume it's the man that is asking me this question. If you're a man, you can get admission or your wife can get admission. Two of you do not need to get admission. If both of you get admission, that is also fine. But it's not required that two of you get admission. Once one person gets admission, the second person can get dependent visa, spousal visa, dependent visa. And that visa gives you access to what they call open work permit, which means you can work and get paid full time while your spouse is studying and also working if they want. And your children get still dependent visa and your children get to come with you. So the point is that even though you are relocating as a family via the study route, it is just one of you that have to get admission and then apply for visa that will cover the rest of the family. So some people think that because it's family, everybody have to go and be doing something in school. No. Of course, your children will study when they get here. That one, like, they don't necessarily need a special visa for that. So one of the spouses get admission, and the second person gets open work permit. The children get visa to come and be able to study. So that is how it works. So we have someone asking, how do I get to know if a scholarship is genuine to avoid being scammed? A good example is to get trained on how to find the legit scholarships, right? Like Advantage Migration, we train you so that you will know where to find the scholarships, even after you have found the scholarship, how to apply and how to do your application so that you are selected for them. These are all that we teach you. We also give you access to, for example, fake school dictator, so that you're able to dictate a school that is appropriate for you as an international person, right? It's not all schools that are appropriate for you. So these are some of the tools that we give to you and teach you. That's one way, because when you talk about scam scholarship, like scholarship that are not really scholarships, it can come from different areas, right? It can be structured in a different way. So the best way to know how to identify scam scholarship is to learn how to identify real scholarships. That's how you know the right thing. Let me give you an example. Suddenly, you get an email telling you that a school has given you scholarship. Suddenly, just like that. Suddenly. Now, you're asking, is it real or fake? But the question is, did you apply for that scholarship? Right? If you applied for the scholarship, for example, is this the scholarship you applied for? 3, something as simple as, like, all schools. Like, there is no school that is going to email you with Gmail here. There's no school that will email you with Gmail. Something as simple as that the person who messaged you said they are from University of Manitoba at gmail.com. The email address that sent the scholarship to you is University of Manitoba at gmail.com. She already tell you that it's fake, right? Because you know that a school is going to have the school website. That was where you applied. So why are they replying you with a Gmail? And just, like, as I mentioned, it is easier to learn how to identify the real scholarship than to learn how to identify fake. Because fake, Another person will go and register a website now and use it to email you. Does that automatically mean they are genuine, right? So again, this is one of the things we teach you when you if you become a Vantage Migration student, by starting from our free webinar at www.vantagemigration.ca. We always tell you, start with the free webinar because it's free and you get to learn everything you need to learn. And then if you decide to take it further, blessed be God, right? But even if you decide not to take it further, you will have learned so much just by attending our free webinar at www.vantagemigration.ca. Now let's look at another question. If your wife have a fully funded scholarship and recently just got married, how can they go with the process? Oh, they will just have to apply for visa and include you as the husband. That's it. Both of you can actually go. Especially, you know, a lot of spouses that just got married, we don't like the idea of being separate, to be separated from each other, right? Go, you can go with your wife. So it's not, you know, some people think that your wife must go and you must stay back and later you go and join her. They think that's the only option. That's not the only option. So since your wife has already gotten the fully funded scholarship, assuming that it is really a fully funded scholarship, one of the things she can do is, like for example, if she was to come to Vantage Migration or you were to come to Vantage Migration, we can work with you for the visa process, right? So if you are willing to, if that's what is interesting to you, let me give you an email address that you can email us. One moment, please. You can send us, let me give you this. You can send us an email at admission@vantagemigration.ca. Admission, please take a screenshot. Send us an email to admission@vantagemigration.ca and specifically request for maybe like our visa processes. Let us know that your wife already got admission and you guys just need assistance with the visa. All right. If you tell us that, then we'll know how to take it off from there and what to ask you. But the point is that we can as well work with you with the visa process. That way you and your wife are applying. Okay? Instead of you being alone. Or in fact, what some people will do. You know, some people don't realize that that question I just read is a very big concern to some people. What some men will do is that they will not tell the wife, don't travel, because they don't want to be alone. Not knowing that both of you can travel together, right? But just because you are afraid that she's have to leave and leave you, you then say, don't take the scholarship, which can even strain the relationship, right? Because your wife is like, how can you say you love me, but you want me to forgo my fully funded scholarship? Or she may just be like, since you got into her life has turned haywire, you know? So if your wife already got fully funded scholarship, is a chance. I can imagine that she's a go-getter. The best thing you can do for your relationship is to support her on that journey, right? But it will be best if both of you can travel together so that your young marriage is not put as like is not stretched. So don't make the mistake of saying it's not possible for both of you to go together. If you are saying that, it's because you don't have the right information. Get trained, understand what needs to be done, travel together, and you will live happily ever after. Please, oh, is that not what all of us are looking forward to? Happily ever after. I can tell you that for sure, because by the time I got married, like within a short time, we had to travel, and we didn't even know how to go through the whole process. It was extremely excruciating. You see, I'm looking for the words to describe it. So don't fall into the same problem. Like for me, helping spouses relocate together is like a mission for me, because I know it can be tough. So someone say, I need inquiries on doctorate. Yes, we help people going for PhD. And let me tell you, if you're going for PhD, full funding is waiting for you. Most of the people going for PhD through our program are securing $200,000. I am not joking. $200,000 if they are going to the US, One even got $260,000. Then there are others getting like $150,000. Myself, I got $150,000. My dear, you're on bread if you are going for PhD. There's no reason why you should not take what we do at Vantage Migration as the best investment. As the best investment you can actually make in your PhD journey. Because you are going to recoup that money 150 or 200 times. Guaranteed. Except you are not doing what we are telling you to do. Okay. Good day, doctor. Can family of 4 relocate via study route, but the 2 spouses are undergraduates? What do you mean? Do you mean the 2 spouses have not gone to school before and they now want to go to school for the first time, as in graduate, like undergraduate studies? Or do you mean you are currently studying undergraduate studies and you'll be graduating soon and you want to travel? Give me more information so that I know how to advise you, please. Okay, so another question says, what is the consequences of applying for study visa and initially you did not add that you are married, but when you get to Canada, you decide to bring in your husband? You are in trouble. You are in very big trouble if that is your situation. Talk to an immigration lawyer, because it will be seen that you have lied. You are in trouble, like really big trouble. I'm not trying to scare you. You are in trouble already. So talk to an immigration lawyer. Talk to an immigration lawyer so that you will know how you bend your mouth to come out of the trouble you have entered into. That is the worst thing you can do, really. And you would have cost your spouse 2 or 3 more years of this battle you are going to enter into. Please, if you are listening to me now and you are thinking of making this mistake, thinking your visa will be approved once you say you are not married, don't make that mistake, because it will be hell for your spouse to join you. Don't make that mistake. Another person say, going for scholarship or study law, which is more attainable? Both. I will never tell you to just straight go for study law, because if you can get the money and you don't need to pay it back, is that not better? Why would you want to leave that and start going for study loan direct? You only go for study loan if the scholarship comes and is not complete. Okay. Someone say, can the family travel same day on the spousal study visa? Yes. You guys will travel at the same time. Like, if you check through our channel, you're going to see a family of 5, husband, wife, and 3 children, and they travel the same day. And the man was actually explaining that some friends they were telling him that it's not possible, but it is possible. Okay, it is possible. If you have the right information, it's possible. Let's see. Let's look at next question. Someone say, how do you obtain working permit and PR from a visitor's visa? Oh, of course, this is outside study visa. So I'm going to ask you to talk to an immigration consultant in the place where you currently are, okay? Is there a scholarship for doctorate program? Yes. And you that you're asking that question, please go right now to start with our free study abroad webinar. Go to www.vantagemigration.ca. Please, if you're watching and you can, you know that link, can you type it out? www.vantagemigration.ca. That's where to start from, okay? Go right now. Go right now. We have the next question here. It says, my husband has a PhD in astrophysics. That's good. He's hoping we relocate with our kids without going through the study route via work routes. Why do you want to do that? It's like you have a route that works, but you would rather leave it to go to a route that is tumbom. If that's your decision, then that's your decision. Because he already has a PhD. Like some people that have PhD, they will feel like, well, I'm already a PhD holder. There's nothing else we can study. But as a PhD holder, for example, and you are married, your wife may be a BSc holder, right? A bachelor's holder. Your wife can apply for masters, and the family can still travel with them. And you, as the PhD person, you not get full work permit. That means you can still come out and work. But your wife can apply for master. This is about the smartest thing any family can do. If one of the spouses, the one that is used to studying, has hit the limits, instead of even start thinking of what to do after the PhD, your spouse can apply for masters, for example. Because I noticed that most people, like, let's say, for example, the husband is a PhD holder. Most times you will see that the wife does not have masters. Even if the wife has masters, the wife does not have PhD. Vice versa too. If you see where the wife has a PhD, most times the husband does not even have masters, right? So instead of you killing yourself, what are you going to do? Let your spouse apply for the next program. Yes, they can do it. They can do it. They will do it. Trust me, they will do it. And that's the easiest thing for you. Instead of saying till you find work, you are looking for work as an astrophysicist or something. Where are you going to find that job? When do you hope to relocate? Say you don't want to relocate. If you don't want to relocate, then that's fine. And I also see that the person asking this question is a consigned wife, right? Is a consigned wife. So as a consigned wife that you are, introduce to your husband that you can go through Vantage Migration Program and apply for masters direct. And with that masters, your husband will get work permits, which is what he always wanted. You will be the one studying and take care of the kids. Sweet and awesome. You and your family live happily ever after. Is that not what we all want? Okay, let's look at the next question. How much will it cost me to study in the UK? It varies, depending on the school, depending on this, depending on that. So it varies. Why not start with the first process, which is learning how to even get the admission, learning how to go through the school websites and everything to see the prices. That's where to start from, right? That's where to start from. I noticed that most of when people are telling you how much will it cost, they are not really interested. They just want to hear from you so that they will not convince themselves. She say 10 million, but me now I have 7. So instead of starting, they will go back to trying to save. And the more you save, the more the currency exchange is increasing, and the one you have saved, the value is dropping. Haven't you noticed? Wake up, oh, wake up. So trying to say how much will it cost me is a very lazy way to get started. Very, very lazy. And most times people like that are not really interested in getting started now. But let's help you cure that laziness. That is the real problem. Call a spade a spade. Is it not laziness? Call a spade a spade. Let's cure that laziness. Start from the free webinar. If you can sit down, complete the webinar, then you know you are serious, right? And the webinar is free. So the money you thought was your problem is no longer your problem. That's when you will still see that that person will not be able to attend webinar. That's how you know that truly it was not money that was holding them. They just didn't want to go, but they needed to blame somebody that gave them wrong information. And they needed to blame Dr. Linda, you know, because they will feel happy telling their family members, see, one expert told me that I need more money, so I'm saving now. Then it's going to take them 2 years to save extra. And before then, the money will devalue. My dear, get started, okay? Next question says, how do I go about relocating to Canada via study route with spouse and kids? All right, the first step is for you to start with our free Study Abroad webinar. I'm going to show you. Start with our free Study Abroad webinar by going to www.vantagemigration.ca. Please take a screenshot. www.vantagemigration.ca. Go there now. Start with the free webinar. Complete it. Once you complete this webinar, we are going to give you a special link you use to check your own eligibility. If you check your eligibility and you're eligible, you are going to be shown how to email us or contact us for any other question you have. And once you send us an email, we'll take it up from there. All right? We'll take it up from there. So let's look at the next question that people have. I have Australian passports. If I relocate to Canada and decide to stay and work there, how do I go about it? So are you coming via the study abroad route? That's a potential way for you to come. But also you can look at, I think with the Australian passport, you probably get up to 3 months, right, of being able to come to Canada. Why not take advantage of that first? Come and see. So you say you have an Australian passport. So the question I have for you is there a particular reason you are leaving Australia to come to Canada? Because I know that, like, you already have a passport, so it's probably not about immigration. So what's the challenge? Tell me more so that I know how to advise you. Let's see. To secure visa during the interview, what are some of the things we need to look out for? Okay, that's part of the things we teach you at Vantage Migration. So if you are in that situation and you want to go through the visa process, instead of you to do tumbom, instead of you to go and get visa denial first, make it extremely hard for yourself to relocate, why not learn exactly what to do and how to do it? You one of the things you have access to is that lawyers are going to review your application materials, book video conversation with you, consultation with you, work with you until your documents are good, so that not just your documents, but also what to say, so that when you get to the interview, you are not surprised. You know exactly what to do and how to go about doing it. And that's the best thing that can happen to you. But some human beings still believe that the best thing to do is to go there and wiggle it out. And you will see that as you approach that window, your body will be shaking. If you are one of the persons that decide to take this route, when you reach there, remember my voice. And you will start asking yourself, why did you make this costly mistake? The school sometimes may not agree to defer your admission after you have failed your visa interview. So many things that can go wrong. You can lose your scholarship because they will not agree to move it to next year for you. Why do you want to do this to yourself? If you are in that situation, what you can do is send us an email via admissionadvantagemigration.ca. Let us know you already have your admission. In fact, attach your admission letter when you are sending us an email for anything related to visa. If you don't already have if you don't already have admission letter from a school abroad, we are actually not having any conversation with you regarding visa application. So when you are contacting us for visa, attach your admission letter. Let us know you have gotten admission. Let us know the country and all that. Then we take it up from there. All right? You have all the resources to help you. Lawyers go through your documents, advise you. You do those consultations. Then when you won't even be asking, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? You will know what you are going to do. You know what you are going to say. You will prepare yourself. When that time comes, you will hit the nail on the head. Bam! They will give you your visa. That is how it works. If you decide to go and do tumbom, it is you and your God that decided that one. There's nothing else I can do to help you. Right? Let's look at the next question that someone has. Oh, let me take this beautiful question. The person said, okay, let me see. One moment. Somebody said, I've gone through the free study abroad webinar and I'm eligible, but I need to speak with you, Dr. Linda. What you need to do is send us an email. Send us an email. And the email address is admissionadvantagemigration.ca, which I've already shown here. Think about it. The school you are going to be applying to abroad, are you going to say, hey, graduate coordinator, before I apply, I'm going to speak to you one-on-one, right? Or are you going to tell the professor, hey, before I even send an application to you, I'm going to speak to you one-on-one, right? Send us an email if you are truly serious with your life, and we're going to respond to you within minutes. So if this works for you, fine. If it doesn't work for you, then find someone else that both of you are going to go hand in hand together. Maybe the person will be sleeping in your house morning, afternoon, and night, so that you will be pleased. But if you really have concerns, send us an email. This is the email address, and we already showed it to you. That means you already know. Admissionadvantagemigration.ca. Send us an email if you have completed the webinar. Please take a screenshot. You've completed the webinar, you have a question here and there. Send us an email, right? Instead of Instead of waiting that one day you are going to hear talk with somebody over the phone, chances are that you are not ready. That's the real truth. Do you really think that it is me that is holding you from relocating abroad? I doubt. And when I see people that are not serious, they smell for their body. Say they're never serious. Okay? If they are serious, they know exactly what to do. One moment. Let's look at the next question that we're going to answer. I'm looking for the question. Give me a moment, please. Someone say, what's the consequences of studying in a college that doesn't offer post-graduation work permit in Canada? Well, you already know the consequences that you won't get post-graduation work permit. So if you're not looking for something like that, you don't have any problem. You can go ahead. Let's go to like more serious question. Okay, let's look at people who have let me see other questions here. One moment, please. So the next question says, hi, Dr. Linda, does applying with your partner via the study route pose any form of limitation on visa approval? No. If you know what you're doing, it doesn't. All right? If you know what you're doing, it doesn't. It does if you don't know what you're doing, because you won't know how much embassy needs you to have. You won't know how much your scholarship, whether your scholarship is enough or not. You won't know when you need study loan and when you don't. If you get trained and know exactly how to do the visa process, applying with your spouse does not pose limitation on visa approval. Okay? I also saw another question. Can I get full scholarship with a 2.0 CGPA with my family? What are the things that will be requested for? Please start with our free study abroad webinar. Go now to www.vantagemigration.ca. All right? Because when you are in training, you will know exactly how the scholarship works. Then you will know what works for you. You will know how to, if you're going with family, you will now, that's when you will be able to know, okay, based on this, this is how I'm going to go. This is what I'm going to do. So all of that cannot happen on this live session. If you are thinking that it will, it's a joke, because even training, our training takes 30 days. Can I spend 30 days with you on live session? Can I spend 30 days with you on live session? Is it possible? Even if I want to, is it possible? She have not contesting for Guinness World Record for highest live session person. You know? So, please, start with our free study abroad webinar. After that, if you have more questions, email us. We can do back and forth with you until you are okay. Then you proceed from there. That's the best thing you can do for yourself, my dear. Okay? Let's look at the next question. Someone say, can you advise the best master's program for Canada jobs? Okay, I will tell you that there is no best master's program. There is not. Because everybody cannot go for the same course. And by the way, you also have visa. Like you have to go through the visa process, which is the most important thing you should be considering if you're applying from outside Canada. Right? Or let's say you're going to US and you're applying from outside US. You're going to UK, you're applying from outside UK. The visa is the most important factor when thinking of the program to study and what to do. Because you can go and apply to the so-called best master's program and you won't get visa for it. Do you know? So there's a method to this madness. Even this visa refusal madness, there is a method to it. All right? And that's why I always say, start from our free study abroad webinar by going to www.vantagemigration.ca. Go there right now. Go there right now. No need to procrastinate. Okay? Now, let's look at the next question that we have here. Does spousal open work permit make the spouse open for a menial job or work with a skilled worker? You can do any job you want. Nobody will tell you the job to apply for. So when you see somebody doing menial job, it's because they applied for that job. Let's say, for example, you apply to clean in a hotel. That's what you are going to get. If you also apply to work in a bank, that's what you are going to get. Canada does not decide the type of job you apply for. And the job you will do is dependent on the job you apply for. The open work permit says you can work with anybody. High paying job, low paying job. Even if you don't work, they won't force you. So it's your decision to make. Let's look at more questions. One moment. So, okay, someone is asking, how long is the grace period for repayment of study loan? Most study loan will allow you to complete your study, and then you will start repayment process after you have started working post-graduation. And many of them get to spread it for about 10 years for you, so that you are paying, so that you are paying small. However, if you decide to pay it in bulk, maybe because you got one high-paying job, you want to pay off the loan, they still allow you to do that. So, truly, from the bottom of my heart, if somebody wants to study, instead of you not to study, you study loan. Because they're never on your neck like this. The only people who take study loan and have problem are the people who, these people, there are some kind of people that if they borrow something from you, they will never return it. Like, they will actually take study loan with hope of not paying it back. Those are the people that have problem. I must tell you. If you're a good citizen, a good person, you take study loan, you say, oh, you pay $60, and you are working and you are making like $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000. Why can't you pay $60? Right? That will only happen. I'm not saying you pay $60. It depends on your amount and whatever. Even if it's 100, even if it's 200, some people have issues repaying not because of the loan, but because they themselves have problem in life. The same person that will tell you urgent 2K and they will never pay it back. Those people, if you're that kind of person, don't take loan. Go and be looking for scholarship until you get. So that because scholarship, you are not required to return it. All right. Let's look at more questions, please. Can someone get fully funded scholarship for pharmacy master's program? If you read pharmacy and you're going for masters, there are different programs you can do, including pharmacy program, including health related programs and others. Can you get scholarship? Yes. So don't don't just say, how do I put it now? Don't just say, can I get scholarship for pharmacy program? Yes, but that's not your only option. You have other options. All right. So I hope I've answered that question for you. Let's look at next question. Someone say, kindly give me more information about relocating with parents and siblings on study visa. Please, if you are relocating, don't go with your parents direct. When you you can go with your spouse, you can go with your children. When you reach there, you can invite your parents for them to come and see you and see the kids. And that will depend on how much you have. That's when they will know whether you can take care of your parents. Okay, let's all think about it. Somebody said they are going to study. And they are going with husband, 3 children, mother and father. Do you believe they are going to study? Let's ask the general pool. Because when the visa person does not believe you are going to study, or they just feel you want to relocate, you just want to use study to cover up, right? When they make that assessment, do you think it is unfair to that person who is carrying mother, father, or even mom, and kids and husband, all of them, they go at the same time? Do you think it's really study that is taking them there? Please, if you are on this video, if you're watching this video now, can you give me your answer? Somebody who is doing something like this, do you think that, like, will you say, I truly believe not only study they won't go there, go study, nothing else? Or will you believe that this one won't relocate, just want you study, cover up? What will be your assessment? Even you that gave me this question, what is your assessment? You will see that your assessment will be similar to what the visa officer is going to assess, which is that no be study you want go do. You just want relocate. You want just use study as the cap where you go wear for head, and your visa will be denied. You relocate with your spouse. Everybody knows, say, if you want go school, let me tell you, some people, man, don't go talk bad thing for a year. So husband and wife that will be relocated, they'll be relocated because they don't feel whole body for 1 year alone. Do you get? So they will say, my wife, I must go with my wife. When you see, e.g., when you see husband saying, wife cannot go alone, no, I need to go with her. Do you think it's about relocation? Sometimes it's not about relocation. It's like, how can my wife stay? Only me go there here. Problem go there, you know? Yeah, same for women too sometimes. Then sometimes a woman is going with the child because who will you keep the children for? Do you want to leave them on the street of Kumasi, or on the street of Morovia, on the street of Daula, or on the street of Lagos, right? For who to take care of? So it is a matter of necessity that families should go together. But when you can't carry your mama join body, except you can tell us that your mother cannot stay alone. Maybe imagine your mother has a stroke. Okay? Come to think about it. Imagine your mom has a stroke. You want to go with your kids. You're also the one taking care of her. You're telling embassy that this woman cannot stay alone. I need to go with her. But I want to go and do my studies. I also don't want it to be that it is a stroke that is preventing me from going on with my life journey. It makes sense. It's beginning to make sense. It's beginning to look like not be say you want migrate, right? Right? So it is about the reason and common sense more than you even think. So I'm not telling you that it's impossible to go with your parents, but for normal parents that we know, it is better for you to keep them at home. And they can come and visit and go back, visit and go back. By the way, why you want to drag your mama or your papa come Canada when they come? Okay, so the most important thing is for you to get started, start with our free study abroad webinar. We'll continue from there. Start with our free study abroad webinar. Go to www.vantagemigration.ca. All right, www.vantagemigration.ca. Let me show you. Start with our free webinar. When you finish watching that webinar, feel free. Check your eligibility so that you are sure. Once you check your eligibility and you're eligible, we'll show you how to contact us if you have other questions. And you will email us. We respond to emails in minutes or maximum hours. You know, they even pass 1 day because we believe that fast response is the best thing for everyone. So some people will say, if I email you, no response. No. If you chat us on social media, you will not get a response. You think that's faster, but you will not get a response. Send us an email via and you will see the email address once you check your eligibility. All right. So take good care of yourself. Again, this is Dr. Linda Iheme. I'm an educational consultant with Vantage Migration. Family relocation is one of our expertise, and we've worked with several families. So you won't be the first. You will not be. Your family will not be used as a guinea pig for finding out whether it works or not. It works. You have to follow the path. You have to follow the step-by-step processes. If you decide that, no, this one, no sweet for my ear, let me go and sell all my property and give it to somebody that does not know what they are doing. Oh, that is your decision. In fact, given everything that has been happening, we have expanded our services to also include agency services. So if you feel I have money, I want to take my family abroad, I don't want to go through the learning process, I just want your company to handle it for me, go to www.vantageagency.ca. www.vantageagency.ca. right? So and you'll be able to see the whole processes, see what it entails. And our agency does money back guarantee, meaning you will sign, this is what we are going to do, this is what we are going to do. If you don't do it, you'll give me my money back. Everybody go sign, so that you hold us accountable, we also hold you accountable. I see no reason why you shouldn't work. But if for any reason it doesn't work, you get your money back. You are never going to lose your money because you worked with us, provided you are going to the right place. What's the website link I gave to you now for agency services? I did not say go and look at one social media. If you see somebody talking anything, that's your business. I've learned one thing on this street of social media, is that I will say my own and I will leave it. If you do your own, if you decide to do your own, you will see the consequences, full stop. If you are looking for agency services, you go to www.vantageagency.ca. www. You decide to follow them, that was your own business, and you face the consequences, whatever you see. Which I'm not praying for you to see anything bad. I'm just saying, follow it and they tell you, full stop. But for people who want scholarship, who want study loan, who want, right? You have to work with learning how to get the process done, because for that scholarship and study loan, is not the way it works is not something an agency will do for you. You will have to be involved. So agency services work for people who already have their money. All right? Anyways, we'll call it today. Take good care of yourself till I see you again.